Hello, my name is Lauren Cobb. Today I'm going to be talking about different foods that I see as healing and that my family finds healing, and that who certain people in my family, specifically in my case, my grandmother, um, finds healing. And I interviewed her a week ago. I just want to talk about a few things that she said. So, the person I asked for an example of healing foods was my grandmother, Annette Canty. There are several reasons why I chose to ask her, mainly because she just seems to have a remedy or a cure for everything, and a lot of the time it works. So, when asking my grandmother about healing foods, she said that when she thinks of healing foods, she thinks of foods that come out of her garden, primarily because she has this funny, I don't know, idea in her mind that when African Americans only ate food from their garden during slavery or during times where sharecropping was a big thing. My grandmother specifically was a sharecropper in Cartersville, Georgia, and she tended to a farm with 13 of her siblings. She thinks that these foods from a garden actually prevent diseases such as cancer, and a lot of these processed foods are actually causing people to ultimately die. And she disagrees with it completely and wishes people wouldn't eat as much processed food. So to this day, my grandmother only eats food that's out of her own garden. She grows all of her food in a backyard, and um, some of the foods that she grows specifically, and that she actually cooks on a daily basis, and even when she makes her big dinner on Sunday, she uses these foods from her garden to incorporate into her meal for the family. She eats a lot of field peas, she eats a lot of collard greens, she eats okra, and she eats black eyed peas. And those are just primarily things that she eats. Also, I found that a lot of people, where she's from, have in my family have lived a long time, older people. And I'm not just saying exactly that the reason why they've lived such a long time is because they've only eaten foods out of a garden that were grown in front of them. But I mean, when you do see what you're growing and you know exactly what's being put into it, I mean, that could be a cause for a lot of the reason as to why you're healthier, as to why you don't, you know, get certain diseases such as cancer. I mean, cancer is just such a rampant thing nowadays, and it might relate to the food and what we're consuming. So she may be right, and I just find that really interesting. I see healing foods as comfort food, but I'm glad I did this interview. Thank you so much, and see you next week.